What's up? What's going on, guys? Rock Bottom Podcast with Ray DeVito. Welcome, you sons of bitches. Good to see you guys and ladies. Real quick, shout out to my sponsors, SilkCityHotSauce.com, SilkCityHotSauce.com. Put in Rock B, save 15% on everything. Jeff Levine and the boys doing fine stuff. I got a hot sauce coming. When? I have no idea. I've been saying that for months, but it's coming. And then also for famous ex-husbands, deodorants and soaps, go to AerieJane.com, AerieJane.com. Say you were sent there by me. You get 15% off and free shipping on your first order. All right, what's up? Let's go. Let's see what's going on. Big day, dude. I podcasted nonstop yesterday. I did like 12 hours. I pulled a Bob Levy. That's what I'm calling it. I pulled a Bob. Dave Dallafor's in here. What's up? Hi, Ray. I read all the super chats put on the screen, please. I'm going to read your chats as I'm going through this, as I'm saying hello. One of the birds is in here. He's a good guy. Obnoxious John wants to know. He's here. He's coming in. What else? Did you ever end up acquiring an Ozzie Smith bobblehead? I do not. I have an Ozzie Smith rookie card, and it's in a safety deposit box with all my things. I just have the cards, and you guys do not have to send me sports cards, but I have a friend who sent me a bunch of some baseball cards that it's probably like $300 worth of cards if I was to sell them. But yeah, I was just going over that on MLC. The big one that he sent me, which is very nice, a Jerry Rice rookie card. That's probably worth like $100. That's cool. And by the way, he didn't send me these all at once. He sends me these every once in a while. If he collects cards, and I'm like the orphan to him. So like whatever like good cards he gets for real cheap, he sends me. So yeah, so that's very nice of the guy. He's a good fella. Carlos will be here, you bastards. Good morning, Ray. Have a blessed and de-stress Thursday. A lot of stuff going on in the podcasting world. Ray stinks. Thank you. Good corners, I hope. Yes. Yeah, a lot of them are in good shape. Oh, Blue Mosaic. Everyone should know Blue Mosaic. Be nice to all my friends out there. Yeah, what the fuck's going on with Chad? Apparently Chad is like hate streaming me right now. Thank you, Chad. If you want, you go to Chad's stream. We'll hate watch him back. I don't give a shit. We can do. What the fuck is going on? All he had to do is just hang out, take his time out from Kevin Brennan. Like a fucking, yeah, just take your time out. And no, what's he doing? He's live streaming he's going to hate watch MLC every day at 4:00. Chad. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Talk about, yeah, forget about jumping the shark. Jumping the shark would be a good term. Jumping into the mud. That's essentially what it is. Forget jumping the shark. Jumping in the mud. All right, let's bring on Carlos Danger. What's up, buddy?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was watching Chad's stream. I apologize, Ray. How the hell are you?
What's up? Can we do it? Can we watch a little bit of Chad's stream just to get started on this?
Do you want to share it? I can give it a try here. I was just trying to watch, but I couldn't hear it. So I don't know if this might be, let me see here.
I'm just curious. I love getting hate watched.
Let me see if I can find it.
Oh, he's a dork. He's a loser.
He's not streaming you. He was just doing from what I saw for a second.
Oh, never mind. I thought it was hate watching. Never mind. Then we don't got to do it. If he was
he's talking about you. I'm sure he's saying nice things about you. But he was doing one of those things where he's outside getting some exercise that I saw.
He just walked around yelling at parking lots. Is he doing one of those tours again? I don't. You don't got to pull up his screen.
I just found it, Ray. You just commanded me to find it. I found it, and then you're like, "No, forget it."
I thought he was hate watching me. It's all right.
God bless producer Joe. I just met him briefly. The man is a saint to put up with you.
Oh.
Wait, did I just hear him?
Yeah, he's here.
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
He's here, man.
Oh, okay. All right.
Be nice to him. And Shuli's going to join us later.
Is this like a performance review? Is that what's going on? Because
No,
Shuli at the end of the Miserable Men show, he ended it by saying, well, Ray's coming up next. And then like in the next breath, I think he said, quote, we're revamping some stuff after Pottstown. I don't know what he meant by that.
Yeah, producer Joe, what does that mean? You were there. What's that mean?
And I was going over my impact notes. Ray, most importantly.
So I think we have, I can't say much until we launch stuff, but we just have some plans for things, more stuff for exclusively for Patreon and YouTube channel members. Like, for example, the YouTube channel member feature gives us the opportunity to stream directly to channel members. So we might do certain things with that. We've tried to make it Patreon and YouTube channel members the exact same content.
So you're not firing Ray. That's what I was trying to get to.
I didn't say that.
Right, this could be my last.
You got to keep an eye on these guys, Ray.
So May 13th, Pottstown. Come to that. I am on the show. There was allegedly, and also.
Did you get anything in writing yet about this show that's coming up?
If you're in New York City, May 2nd at the Stand, 7:00. You got me, Joe Liss. Put in Ray's show because it's my show, and you get half price tickets. So you got me, you got Joe Liss, Rachel Feinstein, H. Foley from Are You Garbage podcast. We're gonna find time. Last month was my album release party, and it just happened to be the same time as the Patrice O'Neal benefit after party. So it was awesome. We had two parties going on at the same time. One for Patrice O'Neal's benefit, and then my album release.
And then the management only had to speak to you once during that event, from what I understood. For stealing a meatball or something like that.
Yeah, they were bringing out food. I'm like, they're giving out food for my thing. I'm like, no, that's for the Patrice thing. It's like, all right, well, this is also my after party. I think they just didn't want my guests eating the Patrice O'Neal benefits party thing. I don't think they can. If it was me, but more so like, all right, this isn't for your guests. So it's
all right. They didn't ask you to leave or anything like that, though. It didn't get that intense.
No,
right?
no.
You don't have to choose. So, Ray, there's a new front in these podcast wars opening every day. Do you feel pressured at this point? Do you have to choose a side? Of course, I mean Kevin Brennan versus Shuli, and you're involved in all of them.
I'm involved in all this, man.
How long can you ride the fence? You're Steel Toe. You're allegedly going on Steel Toe at some point. You were on Melton's show for 19 hours yesterday.
Yeah, I streamed like all day yesterday. My new monitor, I need to get a new computer. So if it looks like I'm looking the side, it's because I'm looking at the monitor and my camera is over here. But I do have a giant monitor now. I feel like Red Bar.
Can you show us the monitor?
No, because I'd have to move the camera and stuff on my dead laptop. There's too much shit to move around. It's a lot of stuff, a lot of variables. Well, do you feel pressured to choose a side at this point? Are you going to have to choose between the Shuli network? No, but I will always have to give a plug. I like that I'm in a good situation with it because I get paid by Shuli Network, and Kevin Brennan demands I'm paying me more money than whatever Shuli pays me.
Double dipping.
So how can I lose?
I think that's illegal in the public sector. Good for you.
Yeah, somehow I win in this. So whatever Shuli pays me, Kevin Brennan demands I'm paying me more.
Everything's coming up, Ray.
Yeah. So how can I lose in this scenario? I'm in a good spot in that case.
Right. And other than 19,000 people wishing you self-harm yesterday, everything's great.
Yeah. Yes. Zero, but it's a 21.5-inch monitor. That's what I'm going with. I got topics. Let's get into some topics. Then we'll get into the podcast drama, and I'll let you run the show from there. And we go over it because I went over your notes. We got a lot of stuff to get into. Yes, I did, man. I'm looking at your notes right now.
Okay.
I'm looking at your notes.
I did the shared document thing, and there was no like Ray's looked at your document. But anyway,
no, I did. I'm looking.
I didn't watch Dirty Work though. You sent me a text at 12:30 at night.
Yeah, you never watched
saying watch Dirty Work.
I mean, doing you a favor, you not appreciative bastard.
Got things to do for God. I'm on my lunch break.
So you wanted to go over Steel Toad's reaction to Kevin Brennan. We'll go over that.
You want to talk? We want to do that first?
All right. All right. We can go to. All right. We'll do that. Then we'll go to the topics I wanted to talk about because I was covering. Chad is about to pass us in viewers. Why are you putting that on? I don't give a shit. Good for Chad.
What do you mean Carlos Danger isn't a draw? The guy from Ray's chat isn't drawing millions of views?
Yeah. All right. Go into your topics. Go. Share your
now you flustered Ray. But all right. So there was the Steel Toe reacted to Kevin Brennan's quote unquote meltdown from Tuesday morning when he went after one of your bosses, Shuli, Mr. Shuli, I believe it was. And I don't know if anybody, I mean, this was posted to the Steel Toe boring subreddit. I don't know if anybody really
I kind of wanted
into it.
Yeah, I also want to talk about that. Like, I did see that Shuli's, and I've talked about this on my podcast before, in Shuli's reaction to the Culta situation.
We can get into that. I have a video for that too. If you want to wait a sec, do you want to watch this one first? It's only 2 minutes.
Yeah, let's do that. I kind of wait till Shuli gets here because he's supposed to jump in. So, Joe, if you want to hit Shuli up, tell him to jump in. We'll go into that because, like, I have my opinion on that.
Just snap your fingers and Shuli will appear for Mr. Ray DeVito.
Yeah.
All right. Let's watch. Let's watch.
Kevin Brennan is melting down solo on MLC. I actually feel bad for him. He seems weak. Oh, no. What's causing it?
I do want people to stop feeling bad. Like, unless the guy learns a lesson, I think.
Yeah, guys.
Like I said, you created this.
I don't take as much joy. Like months ago, I thought I would take joy in telling these guys I told you so, that this would kill you and this would break you down. And now that I'm watching it, I don't like it. I don't feel good about saying I told you so.
You could pause.
Yeah, I have a question for you, if I may.
Okay.
Right. So Aaron just said he predicted that, quote, this would kill you. This would break you down, unquote. You're a regular person, or whatever you want to call it, on the MLC podcast, right? He's talking about the MLC podcast.
Yeah, and so for those of you that don't know,
what do you think he means by that? This would kill you, this would break you down. And is it killing and breaking you down, Mr. Ray DeVito?
No, it's not killing and breaking me down. Life is killing me and breaking me down. First of all, those that don't know, this is Steel Toe Morning Show. Aaron Emholt's been on this podcast before because some people listen to podcasts that don't know a lot of this inside baseball, inside podcasting stuff. So yeah, they're talking about the reaction to Kevin doing his live. First of all, Kevin is always having like, Kevin knows what he's doing. It's not a breakdown. I think Aaron's saying this for his fans that maybe don't watch MLC all the time. Because if you just watch it out of context, sure, it looks like Kevin's having a breakdown. So I think he's just saying that to but I think he knows Kevin's not having a breakdown. Kevin's doing it just to get a content to draw listeners in.
In your dealings with Aaron, did Aaron ever tell you, in like maybe during that interview or maybe during the interview before the interview, did he ever predict that Kevin was going to have a meltdown?
I don't, like I said, I don't watch his show all the time. So I don't know, but of course, I mean, I guess you could say it's good content for him to like be at war with Kevin or whatever. And then Kevin to be at war with him. It's good for both of them. So I think he's just playing the podcast game. No, MLC is thriving. It's doing great. And it's only doing better and better. So
here's another little bit.
It never feels good to say I told you so. I don't think.
Oh, fuck that. It feels great most of the time. I'm bummed that it doesn't feel
bad
good
for the
this
guy.
time.
I think he could have had a lot of talent and shit, and he wasted on people like Chad Zumach. He invites people like that into his home and his show and all that shit.
He definitely didn't invite Chad into his home.
People that come with him.
He definitely has not literally has not invited Chad into his home. I think it's more so.
Right there. Let me just ask you a question there, because April says, "quote I think he could have had a lot. He could have had a lot of talent and shit." I mean, does Kevin Brennan not have an impressive resume to you?
Oh, he has a very impressive. Yeah, he's one of the funniest dudes. He's done it all. He was on SNL, wrote for SNL. He had HBO specials, Comedy Central special. Kevin Brennan is a comedic legend. Yeah, she doesn't know the backstory of it. I think it's just them thinking because he hangs out with Chad that he's somehow on Chad's level.
And she says, and other people. Do you feel like you're being lumped in as one of those other people?
No, she definitely does not know Kevin Brennan's background. You know what I mean? Like,
but since you're connected to him, she made a statement that people connected to him are also not the greatest. Do you feel personally offended by that, Mr. Ray DeVito?
no, first of all, the fact that she would think that Kevin Brennan isn't a talented, well, she did say he's talented, but
could have had a lot of talent, is what I heard.
Yeah,
there was potential. She's saying Kevin Brennan had potential, I think.
No, you're not taking. I can't. I'm not taking this serious. They're just saying stuff to like stuff that their fans want to hear. But no, I don't think she knows Kevin Brennan's whole history and the credentials he has in comedy. So I'm not taking it serious. And
all right,
and she doesn't have to do a deep dive. You're like, not everyone does these deep dives the way you do. I think she's just reacting.
You asked me to come on your podcast. Yeah, now you're saying I have no life because I'm on your doing. God damn you, Ray DeVito.
Can I ask a question real quick, Ray?
What's up, Joe?
Do you know what years Kevin was on SNL?
Yeah, it's when
I don't know that.
Yeah, 98-ish, maybe 99, 98, somewhere around there.
Okay, I was thinking like maybe he was on too early for her to have known, but I mean, she would have been old enough to be seeing it at that time, right?
Yeah, but at the same time, like, I mean, yeah, I mean, John Belushi. I mean, I'm not
going to talk about.
I'm not saying Kevin Brennan is John Belushi, but like, I mean, John Belushi was on SNL way before I would have.
Well, I think there's a very big gap between the profile of John Belushi.
Yes, that's what I was saying as I was saying that. But I mean, if you go down Kevin Brennan's,
now Joe has taken Steel Toe's side. There's been another shift in the podcast wars.
David Chandler's in here. Thank you, David Chandler.
I met him at Dabblecom. Very nice guy. All right, then, like the second part of this video is
you could have all super chats on the board. David Chandler just with the super chat, you could throw it up. Pick a spot and stand on it, Ray.
So the second part of this video is it's very quick. Aaron continues to sort of berate Kevin Brennan for his alleged meltdown, but at the same time, there's clipped into this is one of Aaron's own meltdowns.
I don't know.
Yeah,
everybody told him that's what it was.
It's a bummer, man. It's too bad. Gravy Show says it's just depressing now.
It's sad, yeah.
And you know, this is the problem. Like, we have fans that actually give a shit.
Right,
RGZ Mac, calm the fuck down about our show and everything. I mean, for God's sakes, they pay for it. They keep it on the air. Mm-hmm. I've had it. I'm tired of finishing a story, going to talk to my audience, and you're yelling and bitching about something that I got your back on. Enough. But like, his fans don't. Like, his fans want to see meltdowns. They want to see it ugly and nasty and terrible.
They love it.
So now poor Kevin, and then I go, hey, let's go talk to everybody.
I'm sorry, you want me to pause it?
Yeah, pause. We don't need to say. I get what you're doing with this. Yes. Yeah.
There's a compare and contrast helping.
Yeah, but he's just doing this for content. Does he really think Kevin Brennan is finished and he had a real meltdown? No, he's just doing this for content. Yeah, you got to get excited. If you sat there and just stone-faced and took everything, nobody would watch stuff. They want to see reaction and stuff. So, yeah, there's nothing. No offense. There's nothing to this video.
You don't like it at all?
No.
There's less than a minute left.
And the first thing I see is RGZ Mac fucking bitching about something that we were nice to you about. You know, who?
Yeah, we've seen enough of that. No, he's just reacting. He's just podcasting. That's all. He's just doing it for content.
But on one hand, he's criticizing Kevin Brennan for doing exactly what he does. Aaron's saying, he's having a meltdown, and then he's there having a meltdown.
Yeah, I think
there's some hypocrisy there, perhaps.
Kevin having a meltdown is just for show. Is Kevin literally having a meltdown? No. Does Chad have meltdowns? Yes. Those are actual meltdowns. Like him wanting to go up against MLC. Like, what? It's just insane. Because if he falls off of MLC, like, Chad's going to go back to doing live streams, walking around his neighborhood with 12 people watching. Like,
would you go on Chad's stream today, his premiere show, his inaugural show, if you were invited? Would you go on there?
No, I wouldn't do that. No.
What do you think Kevin's reaction will be?
Oh, it's going to be a must watch. Everyone's going to watch Kevin's stream to see him react to Chad live streaming against him. So,
But I know you were saying that Kevin doesn't really have meltdowns, or maybe that it's
he knows what he's doing. No, he knows what he's. Kevin's say what you want. Kevin's funny with his meltdowns. He has fun.
So is this meltdown? Is this potential meltdown against Chad going to be real or imagined? And is this it for Chad? Is this the last straw?
I don't know. It's not looking good for Chad. Why would you do that? Why would you go against your number one supporter? Like your one lifeline. Like Chad is great on MLC for the content. Him being Chad is great. Him having meltdowns is great. It works out in that whole capacity. So you want Chad to be Chad, but this is a little too much extreme Chad. Now you're going against, you know what I mean? Like now you're gonna rival. Like this is Chad, I think will eventually come back, but instead of coming back in a week or two, this might be Chad doesn't come back for like 3 months. Like
this kind of 90-day thing.
Yeah. And
the last one was a year, and last one was less adversarial. The initial breakup was less adversarial than what's happening now. So
so I think
this could be permanent.
I don't think it's going to be permanent. I do think it's going to come off like it's going to be permanent. But wow, Chad we were about to go to Atlantic City, have MLC Fest. We're about to do all this stuff. And then Chad turns into Chad. He just turns into Chad and just, he just turns into Chad and just melts the whole thing down.
You were on
Patrick Melton's show yesterday. And yes, Chad calls in
and was very mean to you, Ray.
I was a guest on just to call me, talk to me for 30 minutes, a show that I'm on to tell me how obsessed I am with him. So he calls in to talk to me for 30 minutes to tell me how upset. Who's calling into who? Who's watching who? Who's doing that?
You always seem to keep the gloves on when Chad does that to you. Is there any particular reason you seem to pull? You don't start. I mean, and Shuli pointed it out, I believe, on the BS show. You're more inclined to argue with Shuli than you are with Chad.
Now with the Shuli thing, we can put it. I was waiting for Shuli, but he's not coming in here. So you pointed out that the flyer came out on Easter for the Pottstown show.
But you're switching gears though. Let's stick with Chad for one.
I don't care about Chad. I don't. Yeah, I'm not going to. You want to get to, because yes, what happened in New York City is a few at the Patrice O'Neal benefit after party. Some A-list comics were asking me because I put up a tweet about Chad trying to get me fired from the Shuli Network and MLC, and I ended up getting more of a raise.
Hey Ray, real quick, I just wanted to let you know Shuli did text me. He has landscapers outside his house right now, so he's trying to wait for them to wrap up before he jumps on.
Oh, okay, cool.
Someone's doing well.
Landscapers.
Got that network money.
Yeah, David Chandler again with another
super. Somebody's not giving Ray for Pottstown.
Yeah,
going into the tulips.
David Chandler. Chad is the one obsessed with Chad. Yeah. No, the fact that I'm talking about is actually going to make him, what do you call it? It's going to feed his ego. So the fact that I'm even talking about, but yes, a bunch of A-list comics that are saw my tweet about Chad, and they're like, dude, what the hell? Why you mix it? Why you? And they're pointing out Chad's history. They're asking me like, what's wrong with this guy? And I'm like, they're like, stay away from that stuff. Like, you're a good comic. You got stuff going on. You're a respected comic. Don't get involved with that and that stuff. And
that's why you hold back.
I deleted that tweet. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to be known for this. I don't want to be known as a guy that gets thrown out of Bert Kreischer's bachelor parties. I don't want to be a guy that like is threatened to get other comedy shows shut down because they don't like the people performing on it. I don't want to be the guy known showing up at comedy shows, saying I'm featured
like a YouTube drama queen. You don't want to be a YouTube drama
and it's
person.
like that's not good. That's not going to make me look good. Like,
but isn't that good for the MLC podcast though? Isn't that the foundation?
It's good for that because it gives Kevin something to rip on and be like, hey, look at what this guy is over here. So it gives him something. It gives him content to make fun of because it's fun, to pick it apart. But yeah, I can't be associated with that. I can't be, and I wish Chad the best. I hope it all works out. I do think, Florentine and Godfrey are his friends. I don't think they see I think Chad hides the Chad that we see. He hides that from them because they don't see this Chad. And if because I used to
They
never
don't have an
see
internet
this Chad.
connection.
No, I don't think they're following. I don't think they're fucking walking around following Chad around. Like, I mean, they only know about Chad when Chad calls them and tells them Chad's story. So they do not know this other stuff about Chad. They don't know that. They only know the stuff. And I'm in that same category up until the time when him and Kevin had their fallout, and I still did MLC, and I didn't like quit doing MLC because Chad wanted me to quit doing MLC. And then I saw the side of Chad that I heard about that I never saw. So then I saw that Chad. And then when I saw that Chad, I was like, whoa, all right, there is this dark guy that people have. So I don't think they see that because Chad doesn't let them see that, and they're not out looking at everything. So
And
I don't want to talk about him no more.
One
dude.
last question about Chad, because I just want to play devil's advocate. One last question. Isn't Chad doing better than ever in terms of his own career?
He won't
doing
be
what he's doing. Isn't there something to be said for?
No, he's only doing. He was always doing this, and it was getting him nowhere. And then the MLC marriage came for him, and that's what it was. Like, he was involved in the MLC universe. Like, I got more people watching all the stuff that I do now, and they didn't do that. And I got MLC to thank for that. I mean, a lot of people know me because of MLC. They know me from the Shuli network. So yeah, I definitely got more eyeballs on me than I ever had. So, but if I was to like shit on the Shuli network and then shit on MLC and like go try to do my own thing, like Chad was doing fine before he had the breakup with Kevin, and then he had the breakup with Kevin, and a year later he wasn't doing so hot.
Hey, the Shuli network has no problem shitting on you, Ray. I have a video queued up. Okay,
you can go to that. We'll do, and then when Shuli gets in here, he could respond to it. All right, go ahead. You play that. But I had other stuff I wanted to talk about, but here we are. All right, go ahead, play this.
It's only a minute long. I apologize. I'll shut up after this. So this is called Shuli Questions Ray's Work Ethic. This is from about 1 week ago.
I've had no problem with Ray. I've been nothing but nice to Ray. I even told him, with the Wi-Fi thing, I'm like, had you told me a little earlier that you're worried about the Wi-Fi, I would have paid for a hotel room for you with good Wi-Fi. Like, I'm willing to invest.
I don't want to hear about this Wi-Fi again. No one wants to hear my Wi-Fi.
Show to succeed.
Well, let me because there's something that he says here. This is the gut of his point here. I'm gonna rewind it for 1 second.
Show to succeed, but I don't know that Ray is willing to invest in what we're doing here and in us and his own show. On top of that, back to the Ray situation. I only want the best for every show that's on here, but we've talked about it. Like, we can't do it for them. They gotta hustle and they gotta make it work. And so I think a lot of shows are trying that and doing that. I know the Godfathers of podcasting, their numbers are up.
Well, I mean, Ray.
So what am I supposed to respond?
Are you not a hustler?
Yeah, that's all I'm doing.
How many podcasts were you on yesterday? Get angry.
12 hours. I did like 12 hours. Yeah.
You know what the most viewed non-Bob Levy show is on the Shuli network, according to my notebook?
The Rock Bottom podcast?
This goddamn podcast. I mean, up until this episode.
Yeah, this episode, nobody. We can't compete with Chad, man. We can't live stream against Chad. We can't win that.
It doesn't seem that Shuli believes in you. Even though the numbers say you're doing all right for the Shuli network, for the non-Bob Levy episodes or podcasts, you're doing all right. Even if you take out the steel toe bump that you got, that was obviously a big, you got 3,600 views there. But even if you subtract that, you're still like 22% higher than like the second most.
Yeah, I don't. You know what? I don't like this being brought up because it sounds like I don't like this topic being brought up because it sounds like I'm talking against other shows on this. So I don't.
This is your performance review.
Yeah, all right, but I don't like
Shuli
it. Shuli
asked me to bring this up.
You understand what I'm saying? It's like I'm not trying to say that, but hey, compare me to other pie. That's not. I don't like that. I don't like that light. So I don't want to.
Wait a sec. All I did was play a video of one of your bosses talking about you, insinuating that you're not hustling, you're not willing to invest. I don't know whether he meant time or money.
I think he's just talking about that one episode. I think it's just talking about the one episode where the Wi-Fi was bad, which I couldn't control that. I tried to go out of my way to have good Wi-Fi that day. My Wi-Fi stunk, and yeah. So that's it. I think it just comes down to that one episode. To say I'm not hustling or trying is insane. And we cleared up the Pottstown thing. I'm going to be there. You pointed it out that there was a
Bob
April
Levy.
6, there was a poster out for that show that had me on it. And then it was mysteriously, I was missing from the poster a couple days later.
Right. So on this poster, you see Mr. Kevin Dombrowski. I'm not sure if he's been capped by Bob Levy or not. And then you got Mike Morse,
Here's
Casey
what I
Armstrong, Mike Morse, and Mike Morse again. A lot of Mike Morse on that poster. But yeah, so they were kind of shit. But Levy was totally bullshitting you when he's like, I don't know if you're on you were there before Levy made statement 1. There is beautiful Ray DeVito.
There I am sitting like Judas. Is that where Judas sat? I don't know where.
I don't know. I got thrown out of Catholic school, but they're trying to make you a whack packer, Ray. Got to resist.
Well, I guess what they were saying is when I was asked initially about May 13th, by the way, we read all super chats. I see Mike G just put one up. You could throw that up there. I read all the super chats. Sorry to actually say something nice in the chat, but I thought Ray's special was really good. Thank you, Mike G. Thank you, Mike G. Yes, thanks.
Do you think he could be related to one of us?
I don't. I don't know. Sure. I do want to say that what the hell was I talking about before I brought that up? Oh,
we were talking about how you were gaslighted and twisted into a pretzel by the Shuli network and your producers about whether or not you were performing at Pottstown.
So I was invited. It turns out initially the invite was just to hang out. Where me as a working comedian, if someone's like, "Hey, we got this show," I assume I'm on the show and I'm getting paid. It's a Saturday night. It's not like I'm just randomly going through Pottstown. So if it was initially just an invite to hang out, like I'm not randomly just winding up in Pottstown, Pennsylvania.
Most popular non-Bob Levy show on the network.
So
your appearance was.
Let me talk. All right, don't talk.
Your comedy wasn't invited.
Yeah, so I was invited as a guest to hang out. So I took that as I was performing. So then when I did get work offered to me on May 13th, I'm like, no, I'm already booked that night because I assumed. But it's all worked out. I'm getting paid for being there. I'm performing on the show. So it all worked out. We're going to have a good time. And now I feel like there's a lot of pressure for my 10 minutes. Like, this better be fucking magical. This better be fucking magical.
There's absolutely pressure on you now.
Yeah.
See, part of your disadvantage here is that you never watch Stern. So you don't know the ways of the Shuli.
Yeah, I didn't really watch
good
Stern.
Or bad, they have content after Pottstown from you.
Well, this is what I will say about, I used to watch Stern when it was on the E! Network at night. I would watch it, like when Artie was there and stuff. But I didn't really listen to Stern. And I will admit, I was more an O&A guy, like driving around. And when Sirius XM first came out, and I would listen to O&A over that. And it's more so because of the comics that were on it, the Bill Burrs, the Patrice O'Neills, the Greg Giraldos. I would listen for that. So that, and speaking of which, Levy's get me on Jim and Sam to promote my Sirius XM album. So, which I did for them. A Life Without Balconies. Check it out. You have 2 specials. The Dry Bar special, but more so A Life Without Balconies. Check that out.
I would also just tell people as a fan of Ray DeVito, and again, I'm a complete nobody. None of you should have heard of who I am. I'm just a guy from Ray's chat. I thought your stand-up that you did at Chris Abel's wedding or the night before the wedding.
Oh, yeah, that's on my Patreon. Patreon.com.
Very funny stuff.
Patreon.com /
Drunk Ray. Being misogynist,
Don't
offensive.
talk over me. Don't talk over me.
I was talking first. I'm trying to promote you.
All right, go ahead. I'll let you.
I'm done. Me. That's all I had to say. Subscribe to your Patreon.
telling him what it was. Patreon.com/Ray DeVito. It's the 30-minute set. I was supposed to do 20. I did 30 minutes at Chris Abel's show the night before his wedding. It's very adult language. It's very crowd worky. And yeah. How would you describe it? I'll let.
Am I allowed to talk? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like I said, dirty, offensive, true blood shark. What happened with you and Levy at the wedding, though? Because they're, I'm a bottom feeder in the Dabbleverse, right? My podcast, no one listens to it unless I put Shuli in the title or Chad or Stuttering John, and then maybe I'll get 200 views. But I have heard some rumblings in the Dabbleverse that maybe you offended Bob Levy in some way at the wedding, either by being inappropriate in some way, maybe comments that were made either Friday or Saturday. By wedding, I mean the weekend, not just the actual reception.
No, the only thing Bob was
happen?
Yes, I'm answering the question. I like how you ask me the question. I go to answer it, and then you're like, keep talking.
I've asked you before, and then you concentrate only on the 3-hour reception. I'm just clarifying the time frame.
Yeah, I did. I guess I mentioned Bob is on his 4th marriage, and yeah, he did not like that. But I don't remember somebody on Friday night. I said that a few times. I was just drunk, but yes, I understand how that could be taken. That's not cool of me to say, but I wasn't even thinking. I wasn't doing it maliciously. I was just saying that. But what's up?
Can I ask about that a little more? Like, do you remember the circumstances?
I don't remember.
So you were goofing on him, or?
I was just having fun, just talking shit.
Was this in front of his current wife?
Yes, I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah.
How did you realize that it wasn't welcome?
Oh, I didn't realize till the weekend was over and Bob said that.
And is that when suddenly?
No, he was just like, yeah, you just don't do that at someone else's wedding. That's not the time to do that. People are getting married and like, he's done it a few times. So yeah, so that's not the time to do it. And I did do that. I was drunk, just talking shit and not even thinking. So yes, he was up.
Okay.
Yeah. So he was upset with me doing that, and understandably so. If I go back in time, I obviously wouldn't. I recognize that, like, yeah, that's not the time to do it, but I was just talking shit, having fun, busting balls, but that wasn't the time to bust that particular ball.
Can I ask one more follow-up?
Sure.
Do you think that's where this whole Ray isn't going to Potsdam perpetrated by Mr. Levy came from? Was that the origin?
Oh, I have no idea. That I don't know. And we do know this, a little inside baseball from off the air before this podcast, going over the notes with producer Joe, is that flyer from before Easter was actually, they were just having, it was like more so it was Good Friday, and they just wanted all the people that were on the network on that flyer. So that wasn't. Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that's the quality. That's what I got. So if you see, jump on here and
by that logic, anything you see on the Twitter feed from the Shuli network, you shouldn't really. It's not that's not genuine. That's not notarized.
Yeah. Age of Quarrel, $5. I will say that. Ray's handling of Chad has been inspiring. Ray always takes the high road and exposes Chad as a frustrated, bottom-feeding, slow adult he is. Thank you, Age of Quarrel. Yeah, like I said, I don't hate Chad. And when Chad is like of decent sound in mind, he's a good guy to hang out with. You guys have seen him on podcast, but like that's the thing that like people don't like him for the longest time. Then they see him have like one human moment podcast. They're like, he's actually all right. All right, well, 1 out of 10 times you can't be an asshole. The other 9 times, it's like the one time the school shooter came in and he didn't shoot anybody. He seemed to be pleasant. That he was holding the doors open for old ladies and everything. He was complimenting babies. He was being nice. So yeah, you can't. Yeah, that one-off day, he's nice should not be. So, yes, he is capable of being a nice guy.
He's great with Skakel. Skakel brings out the best in him. Cardiff, before Chad turned on him, brought out the best in Chad. I will say, you and Chad, Brennan and Levy, to me, that's MLC. I'm a newer listener, but I'm going to miss Chad if he's no longer on the show. I'll, of course, still watch.
He's going to be in a timeout for alone. I think he's going to be off the show for a while. I don't see him coming back, especially with this latest move of live streaming against them. I think that's not going to work out. Brennan is not. If you think he was mad yesterday, wait till today. Today is going to be a must watch, must listen to MLC. It's going to be insane. And I got to go see my godparents because I'm leaving town.
Oh, that's nice, Ray. You're such a.
So I got to see my godparents while they're. So I won't be around. I won't be able to do MLC today. Even if someone said I'm going to see my godparents. Someone in the comments goes, "That's gay."
GHEY.
You heartless people. Oh,
I haven't read the chat. I'm too terrified. Yeah. I can't even imagine what's being said.
One, did Ray really block you and time you out, or was that a joke? I did accidentally block him, and I unblocked him. He's back in there.
Well, you put him in timeout last night.
Yes, I did because he started to put that inappropriate words in the chat, and I was like, "Come on, dude, you can't do that." So you got to do that. Producer Joe, you there, buddy?
Producer Joe had to drop off. He's watching Chad's stream.
Oh,
Producer
really?
Joe is Chad's biggest fan. They had a moment in Tampa. I don't know if you caught that.
Oh, Joe had to. Okay, Joe had to like.
Sounds like you got Andy. There's an Andy in the. You can see the private.
Andy, do you want to jump on and talk about the flyer?
I'm running the show.
There he is.
You guys,
what's up?
You guys are doing great.
Get in here, Shuli.
Oh, you want me? Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't know you were here. You're supposed to jump in.
I know. I was trying to make your show sound better by not jumping on because for a couple reasons. One, because everybody hates me, but two, because I had landscapers outside, and so I couldn't jump on earlier. My apologies, Ray.
Oh, all good. All good. We got you guys ever officially meet Carlos Danger?
Mm-hmm.
Shuli did my podcast, and it's my most watched episode. And then I quickly turned on him, as the nature of the internet.
Did you hear
8,000 views, baby.
Chad's going up against us right now.
Against who? Against us?
Yeah. He's a live
program.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right.
Shuli, would you ever bring Chad over? That's been another rumor in the Dabbleverse.
Bring him over. I'm going to watch his show right now.
Son of a bitch.
Much like, and you may not like this, Ray, but much like Ray, Chad is a guy that you like, love him or hate him. You're watching. You're invested. Some for the right reasons, some for the wrong reasons, but invested nonetheless. So I listen, I'm fine with people doing shows on here, but I am learning that not everybody is necessarily easy to work with. So,
we're talking about me? Oh, shots fired. Filet of fish 420. Happy 420. Thank you, buddy. Happy 420 to you.
Chad doesn't like that holiday.
First of all, I'm talking about Chad, Ray. So if you're getting defensive, maybe there's a reason for that. Number one. Number two, I don't think that Chad makes for a smooth work environment. That's for sure. You never know what to expect. Ray, I know what to expect. A lot of bitching, complaining, but that's Ray, and so God bless him.
So you're saying, to summarize, Chad and Ray are both equally annoying, just in opposite ways somehow.
Exactly. Thank you. Yeah, and I'm telling you, if they let me produce their show, it'd be a hit. I know how to do it. I know how to get it done. I know what these guys need.
Oh, a show with me and Chad?
Yeah.
I don't think that would have a shelf life of like 2-3 episodes.
Not the idea I have.
You guys, I think that would.
But Ray, he's making you choose because that would set Brennan off.
Well,
you would have to make that choice.
I'm not making Ray choose, unlike Brennan, who offered Ray a job, and I believe you accepted it, right, Ray? So you are moving to the Kevin Brennan network, I hear?
He doesn't have a network. He doesn't have a network.
Oh, I totally thank God the Shuli broadcaster guy is here, because yesterday Brennan said he would pay you more to have you not go to Pennsylvania. Is that something that's going to happen?
If he does do that, if he gives me $600 not to go, that'd be doing Shuli a favor too. Shuli be like, yeah, thank God, it's a long show.
No, listen,
be like, take that.
It's no skin off my nose.
He's giving me $600 not to go. He's just Jules David, $5. Chad just announced that as of 5 seconds of 5 of 2.
May 2nd, Ray.
May 2nd. Oh, I'm reading it like it's a fucking fraction. That's what a fucking idiot I am.
You call my network dumb, and you couldn't put that.
I'm not the brightest. Chad just announced that as of May 2nd, the Shuli Network back office team will run all aspects of his YouTube channel. He is making an investment.
Care to comment, Shuli?
Listen, if Chad wants to pay my team, which is the best team doing it today, as long as he pays, and I personally think after a few episodes, people pay or not pay are going to be tapping out. But who knows? My guys can eat. I don't shut down anybody's opportunities. This ain't a show on Sirius. You're allowed to fucking dip your beak and get some other shit done. I want everybody to eat. I want everybody to enjoy. But if he wants to pay these guys what they're worth, then by all means he can use them. Sure, they helped our fucking channel. They can help anybody's channel. They're great.
The Reverend has said a couple of. I'm sorry, Ray.
I'm gonna read the super chat real quick. Franklin Scheckler, $2. Ray fans are called the Ray Tars. Yes, that's was Danny Polachuk started that, and it unfortunately stuck. So
and he was asleep. He was asleep through the entire episode until he did that.
I mean, you don't need a great episode. You just need one great moment. And that he gave it. So good for him.
Exactly 6 million, $5. Ray and Shuli both celebrate 420, but for completely different reasons. Oh, I get that. Oh
yeah. I had a couple of private messages about something you said yesterday, Ray. I don't want to get into it.
Frank Desi, $4.99. Shuli, is all this battling YouTube network drama worth it?
No, I'm not the one battling. All I did was I just finally said enough of this shit. I'm not gonna try and be nice to somebody that is a dick and doesn't appreciate me trying to help. I mean, look, I've said it, and this is a reality. He wouldn't be doing a super chat show if it wasn't for the Uncle Rico show. Bob brought that to him. Bob told him, "Here's what we're doing. You should try this." So. Number one, you're welcome. Number two, now he wants to start a network. Great idea. Wonder where you got that. Number three, he
cover your ears, Ray.
He sits here and he talks about how like he loves you, Ray. Like he loves you. And it's like you go on his show. We could do a week's worth of shows and we would never beat the shit out of you like those super chats beat the shit out of you. Now
wait a sec. I just played a video of you questioning Ray's work ethic, questioning whether he's dedicated to his podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Brennan's never said that.
Yeah, Kevin calls him a fucking loser and a zero. So
Kevin Brennan says, I'm surprised you're not on late night shows, Ray.
Yeah.
He said that, or was he looking at another Ray when he said that?
No.
I think he might have been saying Ray's about 30 years too late in the comedy. Ray should have been on.
Listen, I get
late night back in the day.
Get the gist of his show. It's the listeners are turned over via super chats to shit on the guests. I get it. But
the super chats shit on him and Bob too.
What's
like they shit on him and Bob too. It's not like they just take shots at me.
Let's be honest here. They shit on everybody.
Yeah,
I don't see a lot of shit on him.
Well, there is that weird thing. Yeah. There's that weird thing with this whole internet shit where we're all pretending we're the host. And so if Kevin Brennan is shitting on Ray, then everybody wants to. I paid $50 to shit on Ray at one point.
And anything I say about Ray, it's coming from me. I don't have to hide behind people who are donating money to say anything. If I have a problem with Ray, I will talk to Ray about it. And I have. And I've reached out to Ray on numerous occasions and we've communicated. So, I think for him to sit here and play this game like he cares about you, he wants to pay you more, pay him more. Pay him more. He wants you to come over to the network. Go over to the network. I'm sure
he's not starting a network. Stop it. He's just saying that to say it. He's not starting a network.
I'm sure everything will be running smoothly over there. This is very easy to do. Everyone's doing it.
Ray, do you think Kevin Brennan actually cares about you?
Yeah, I do think he does. I'm going to read the John Tard's dark Brandon shirt, $9.99. I was giving Ray a ride to Pottstown. Ray promised me a spot on the show. Shuli seemed gobsmacked. Not cool, Ray. I was closing on Mike and Mentava for $63 a night.
Manitoba,
Canada. Oh.
That's probably a Cardiff under an alt account.
Is that 63 Canadian or US? That makes a big difference.
Wait, Shuli, can we put you on the hot seat for 1 second? Ray, can I put your boss on the hot seat for a second?
Yeah. I wanted to get into this because I was going to say, and again, hindsight's 2020, but I wanted to play the Calta thing. Yeah, and how I would have handled it, and how, if you can go back in time, Dave Dallafor, $5 at Douglas W.
Right.
At Douglas W. Rocks. Thanks, buddy.
Well, you don't ever goof on Levy reading ever again. Number one.
I'm horrible.
Number two, I love how Ray would have handled it. Ray, every time Chad comes on, one of you either shut down or the other one runs away. So don't sit here and act like you're Mr. fucking I'll stand up to the masses. You would have done the same fucking thing.
Ray would have stabbed him in the throat.
You're on a show. Hold on. You're on a show that's promoting your gig at the club, right? And it's not your show. This guy's invited you to his studio. So now let's get to forget about how I handled it. Let's get to the question of why I needed to handle it. How about that question?
Okay.
Why is that scenario even going down?
But if you compare on the same BS show where you addressed the Calta thing, you actually interrupted Bob Levy when he was going down a similar personal attack type path.
I went on Gino's show and told him the giving out number shit has to stop. And do you know why?
That's ridiculous. It should stop. It's dumb. It's stupid.
And the only reason I said that, because Bob says I'm going to give out this person's number, that person's number. Who's won in this fucking thing that everybody's doing?
Fans.
Absolutely. Insufferable bastards can sit there and break it down. Notice of violence on Carl. Good.
Blue Mosaic, $1.99. Breaking. Chad issues notice of violence on Carl. Are you being serious, Blue Mosaic? Are you?
Blue Mosaic is never serious.
Yeah.
And Snut Joe, I love you, buddy, because he's right. He posted in the chat. Kevin goes, it was a bit. I was doing a bit when I gave out his number. Okay, so Calta's doing a bit. What's the problem? Why am I in charge of cleaning up your shit that you threw all over the floor? You gave this fucking guy's number out, a grown man. You decided to do that. And the only reason I went on Gino and Bob and talking to them about not giving out numbers to prevent this exact thing from happening, from escalating.
Wasn't Calta a complete dick, though, for even bringing it up while you were there? Why go into Kevin had nothing to do with any of it?
Kevin was never mentioned out of my mouth. There's nothing that I said that led him into the Kevin Brennan thing. Now, there is the thing with Chad, that Chad tried to, mend fences and squash the beef. And he did it the day before I came in. So now he knows Chad's opening for me at Side Splitters. He's got this message from I'm right. I'm just
it's Chad's fault, you're saying.
I don't know that I'm not saying that it's Chad's fault. I'm just saying, the Matrix when Neo's in the Oracle's apartment and she says, "Don't worry about the lamp," and then he breaks it and he goes, "How'd you know?" And she said, "The real question is, if I didn't tell you, would you have still broken it?" And that is the thing with Chad, right? It's like, if he hadn't have reached out and tried to, and I believe he wanted to do a good thing. Like, I don't think he did it knowing it was going to lead to this, but he also should know that old school radio guys don't squash the beef. They,
You yucked it up a little though, Shuli. You were yucking it up with Kalta when he was bringing up the Brennan stuff.
Of course I was, because in my head I'm going, this is fucking hilarious. This is the one thing Kevin doesn't want, and now it's happening to him. But at the same time, I didn't think he was gonna fucking actually. This guy's on terrestrial radio. He's a big show.
Right.
Like legally, I don't know what.
Yeah, legally he can be. It's one thing to say it on a podcast. It's another thing to this is broadcasting. Like could be a broadcast violation. Like I can't be a news anchor and Fox News and be like, hey, call this dude that I don't like in Minnesota at 555-378. Blue Mosaic.
Can I play my unfairly edited video though?
Let me read a few super chats while they're here. Blue Mosaic $1.99. I'm serious. Chad Tampa set recorded. Carl has it. I don't like that either as a comic. I don't want my comedy out there that someone just records. You shouldn't do that to any comic and release it. Jimbo $1.99. You could tell KB respects Ray. Chad talks down though. Thank you, Jimbo. I think but before you get into this, I want to say this because I was on Melton's show yesterday.
Can I finish my point, Ray? Can I finish my point that Carlos asked me you wanted to put me on the hot seat. Now you're taking me off the hot seat.
All right. You're on the hot seat. Back on the hot seat.
And I'm begging you to keep me on the hot seat.
No more Matrix things, though, you potheads. You potheads and your Matrix stuff. I can't take it.
That's 420. You can go fuck off. I'll do whatever I want. Now. Hold on. What does this guy say?
Shuli,
both of you would have done the same thing Shuli did, and that's my point. And listen, at the end of the day, right? You can sit here and blame Chad all you want. You can blame me for not reacting and punching Kalta in the face and unplugging mics or whatever the fuck the scenario in your mind is. But at the end of the day, we wouldn't be at this point if you didn't fucking give out the guy's number. So at some point, other than saying it's a bit, which it wasn't a bit, and if it was a bit, then it didn't work, and now you've created a shitstorm for you. So you can blame me all you want, but the reality of it is, it all starts there.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. I was on Melton's show yesterday. He started shitting on, saying some unkind things about friends of mine. Instead of going with the bit, I'm like, come on, dude. I would have handled it. We're like, why are you doing that? You know I'm gonna get blowback. Why are you doing that? I like that's my friend. Like, all right, I don't appreciate and
Ray
not only
down
that,
actually.
Yeah, I was like, nothing I was gonna say was gonna win. Nothing I was gonna say was gonna win. So it's like, but at the same time, I let him know, dude, this is uncomfortable. This is uncomfortable for me, and I let that be known. So I don't know. I think I would have had reacted like, dude, that's my friend. I get it. You guys have your thing. Why do you got to do that? I'm here. I would have said, and also I think if the point was to get fans into the place, I think that would have.
Who's controlling this?
Yeah.
Look at Shuli up there.
Yeah. You could put on that super chat of the guy hating me. I don't care.
Listen, you said if you were in my position, you would have handled it differently. And according to,
I hate you. You don't sell tickets. Thank you, Sean Patrick. $1.99. You can get that off the screen.
An Irishman.
Sean Patrick.
And according to people, don't put him in timeout, right? And according to people who watched you yesterday, you didn't handle it that way, and that was Melton. That wasn't Kalta. So
he handled it in a way that, it didn't exactly put a stop to it, but he did. It's kind of like when an animal plays dead.
Because people are shitting on my mic. Is it too high, too low?
No, I just think you don't stop talking when other people are talking and it cuts out. I think that's the problem.
Okay.
It happens to me too. I'm not shitting on you. It happened. It's StreamYard, so the audio isn't great. So, yeah, I don't know where we were at though, but look. At the end of the day, Melton shitting on your friends, it's no different than fucking Brennan. I'm sure he shits on people and are friendly with, right?
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. I guess that's what some people do.
But I would have pointed out to Kalta, this is gonna be blowback for me. This is gonna be a blowback.
Ray, he's been doing radio longer than you've been alive. He knows what's coming from this. This is radio shit in its day. This is what they didn't give out people's numbers, but they fucking, Howard did funerals all across the country. Fucking anytime you went number one, destroying the DJs. I mean, talking about digging up their dead dads and skull fucking their dead dad's corpse. And I mean, so Calta's been doing this 40 years.
You're upsetting Ray.
I know. You think he's just gonna let this go? I mean, and look, in my opinion, if I'm Calta, I just let it go. I go, it's meaningless. Like, who is this guy at the end of the day?
It's the second time Calta struck back at Kevin, right?
You could put up all the super chats. So I know someone said something not nice about Carlos, but you could. Big Daddy Dodo $1.99. Can we get rid of the tub of shit in the red cap? I thought producer
$2 more.
I thought producer Joe left. Why is he super chatting?
Ray stopped Melton from giving out Chad's number. Good.
Did you?
I don't remember that, but I definitely would not.
Though.
Yeah, I wouldn't be cool with it, and I would let the person know that I'm not comfortable with it.
Time to drop the hammer and give out Shuli's number like KB told you. Yeah, people have my number. They gave it out. People calling my wife, who has nothing to do with anything I do, and that's the day and age we live in. You know, people are pussies. That's what they do.
Right, you're allegedly in a cult.
$4.99. Yeah. Does this feel similar to arguing with Ronnie, Jason, or Brent in Howard's studio? Shuli Network for life.
I think I can answer that.
Yeah, go ahead, Carlos.
No.
What's a Ronnie, Jason, and Brent story?
It's long, Ray.
Okay.
I don't know that we got to get into it, but there are people that worked on the Stern Show, and occasionally we would butt heads, you know. So, yeah. Look,
David Chandler, he's the MVP. David Chandler, 1999. The worst decision Bobby Kelly has ever made was working with the dull, monotone snore fest that is Mike Calta.
Boom.
David Chandler coming in.
I'm lame. He's Team Ray till the end. Shuli is still butthurt about not getting the Artie chair. No, I'm quite okay with that. I've let that go. I was never butthurt, but I definitely was excited at the opportunity. And you know, shit happens, man. But what are you gonna do?
I do have the Hack Pack audio ready to go. The legendary Artie.
Yeah, that's fucking. I mean, it was insane. Artie would come to me backstage at shows and go, "You're the best host I've ever had for my shows." He's like, "You're gonna host all my stuff." Paid me $2,000 to $2,500 a weekend.
Damn.
To do 10 minutes. And then went on the air one day, I imagine under the influence or whatever, and then was just fucking. I think he was shitting on Richard, and I know he was shitting on Richard. Not necessarily Sal, because Sal's actually got chops on stage. He's funny. He's just, his material was out of this fucking world. It was just so you couldn't air it anywhere. But
Kumia-esque? Is it like a Kumia video game live stream?
Oh yeah, it was. I pulled him off stage drunk many times for his own safety.
Yeah. Oh wow, yeah. I never saw any of them when I first got to New York. I did a show at New York Comedy Club that and it was just Buddy Flip, who I met on the road. I just got to New York City, and he managed New York Comedy Club. He's like, "Oh, I'll get you a spot on this show on Tuesday or whatever." I remember Greg Rogel, who I just knew of from TV, was there. Laurie Kilmartin was on the show. So I'm seeing all these people that I never met before, but I knew from television. And then he's like, "You're going up after Benji and Stuttering John," and the room was packed, but one of them was, I don't know which one it was, Benji or Stuttering John, but they cleared that entire room out. The whole place was like gone except like 6 people who haven't got to pay their checks yet. And then I went on, and not that I was horrible. I mean, I was horrible. That's when I first got to New York City. I was a road comic, and I did good only because I wasn't Benji or Stuttering John. It was like just someone that, whichever one of them cleared the room, but one of them, it was just brutal.
Just make it Stuttering John.
Ray's over prime rib from the wedding.
Yeah, Ray's leftover prime rib from the wedding, $5.50 California money. Ray, Shuli's taking half of the Ray Hate super chat money until they dry up, and then he's going to cast you out like a stone into the ocean.
No,
All
I
right.
don't take half. I take 20%. So, dude,
Yeah, is the network full at this point, Shuli? Levy has said at some shows that you're not taking on anything new.
Nope, nothing new, and some changes will be happening after Pottstown.
Does that mean you're getting rid of Ray?
Oh no!
I mean,
the look of death.
You do know, page view wise, video view wise, Ray's your most popular podcast, other than, Levy.
Yeah, I've taken it into account.
I'm still going. It's still like that. I mean nothing.
Carlos,
you know what? I don't like bringing that stuff up because that makes it
talking.
Yeah, but that makes it look like I love the other podcast, so that's why I don't like bringing that up because that's not. It's.
Shuli brings it up every time he's in front of you.
Yeah,
in front, not behind your back. In front.
Yeah,
I respect that.
Why isn't Casey Armstrong on this network?
I love Casey, but Casey's a tough guy to nail down on a regular schedule, and you know what I mean? Like,
okay,
I love him. I texted him last week to come on Rico with us. Haven't heard back, and then I'll get text from him. Casey's just he's a free spirit, man. So I don't know what he wants to do. I'm up for ideas. I'm talking to other people from the world of Stern that are interested in doing some stuff. So you never know what's going to happen, man.
If you took on a new show, would you have to drop an existing show, or can you take on more and keep what you have?
No, I don't think so. I think we're gonna streamline and fine tune some shit, and we got plans. We got season 2 of the dumb Shuli network is gonna be big.
Blue Mosaic, $1.99. Ray, 1 to 10. How good was a transgender you dated? I went on one date with a transgender lady only because I matched with her on Bumble, and I did not know she was transgender. And then she said that, and she's like, "Does that bother you?" And yeah, I'll admit I wasn't interested, but if I meet someone on Bumble, we go on one date. Not even a date. I just meet up for a drink. And I'll pay for the drink, and then even if I like you, we're done till the next time. So that's all I was doing. I was like, maybe I'll get a story out of it. And no, she was kind of an asshole to me. She was the one that was kind of an asshole to me. So,
were you ever at one point where you're like, dude, chill out? Were you ever
yeah,
bro, what's the problem?
Yeah, it's like, bro, come on, let's just be cool. Let's just fist bump and do a shot and a beer together.
Yeah.
So, but
How
she
does
was
Blue Mosaic even know that?
I talked about it on a podcast before. So that's it. I do have the only news story I wanted to get into. Did you see this? You obviously saw this. The kid that got shot in Kansas City. I bring topics. I wanted to have topics. If you could pull up that story or whatever, it's Now here's the thing: the kid went to the guy's house. What the heck is the kid's name? Not that it matters, but he got shot in the face. Some old man shot him in the face.
Right. I mean, if you're gonna do a news story / topics, at least research the fucking guy's name.
Well, I thought it was being pulled up on the screen, but you don't have to do it now.
It doesn't matter. Then why are we talking about it in the first place? If none of it
Andrew Lester, he's 84.
Tell that to his parents. It doesn't matter.
And he shot Ralph Yarl, who is a 16-year-old kid. He went to the wrong address to get his twin brothers to pick him up, and he went to the wrong house. The old man shot him in the face. He shot him twice. The 84-year-old guy shot the guy, and Andrew Lester shot him twice. Now, the thing that was brought up that's interesting, there's 2 stories going on. Now, if the kid knocked on the door and the old man came to the door and shot him in the face, then all right, then this old man, the book should be thrown at him like he's a piece of shit. But the other story is the kid came in the house. Like the kid just came in the house, didn't knock, just came in the house looking for his twin brothers. If that's the case, that's a whole different thing. So it's a weird divide. So it's either if the kid went in the house, that's one thing. If the kid just knocked on the door, that's another thing. What do you think? Am I right on this side?
Ray DeVito's hot take.
Yeah.
Doesn't really take any side at all.
Well, I'm telling you the side. If he came in the house and didn't knock and the guy shot him, then that's intrusion. I guess you're allowed to shoot him under the laws. But if the kid just knocked on the door, you can't just shoot everyone in the face that knocks on your door.
Oh, I didn't know that. Did you know that, Carlos?
Yeah.
I would have stabbed him.
What's the true story? That's what I want to know. Why won't they say what the real story is?
What makes you think Carlos Danger or Shuli knows the true story of what happened?
This is the first I'm hearing about this. I don't get all my news from Steel Toe. I don't know what's going on right now.
Here's a question. If a kid enters your house with a bobblehead and you steal it from him, would it be justified?
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
Someone shit on me with the super chat. We could read that.
The Gary Carter bobblehead.
Yeah. Ray on current events is not the formula, frankly.
Here.
All right, true. I just wanted to do one topical story to say I have topics.
What does this have to do with the royal family?
By the way, this is your show, Ray. It's just you bringing up news stories that you end up quitting on before your guests even have an opinion on it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If he entered the house without but also the guy's blaming Fox News. That's his defense. Is his grandson who's defending the grandfather that shot him. He goes, yeah, he watches Fox News all day and Fox News told him to shoot the kid in the face. So is Fox News to blame? I don't think so. I don't think that's the argument that will get any traction. I say it comes down to if the kid walked in the house and he got shot, then it's a shame the kid got shot. It's not cool that he got shot, but that changes my opinion on the old man. If the kid just knocked on the door, then the dude should do life in jail, which will only be like 5 more years. Stokely Klavowski, $5. Is this a demonstration of how a gender-neutral newscaster sounds?
That's another.
Hey,
Corndiff.
Corndiff became a YouTube member. Welcome, Corndiff.
I know Corndiff.
David Chandler, 1999, Amber Alert, Little Orphan Annie bobblehead.
By the way, what is Ray's take on the Challenger explosion?
I talked about it on a podcast before. I was a little kid at the time.
Of course you did.
Yeah, it was kind of a joking question. I don't want to hear I was in school watching the space shuttle story again. All right?
Yeah, I saw it, and I didn't know it was something bad happened. I didn't know it was something bad. Not till years later, it's like, oh no, people died. That wasn't a good thing.
Wait a minute, you saw a space how old were you?
Maybe like 5th grade or something.
So you saw something go into the sky and then it explodes and you're like, oh, they'll get up to the moon soon enough.
I didn't know what I was watching. I wasn't invested in the thing. We're just sitting there in the room watching it. And then it's like, oh, okay, I guess that's that. Like I wasn't fully invested in watching it.
Yeah. Were there people with helmets on in this watching the
No.
Okay.
But I didn't realize it was bad. I knew it was not good by the teacher's reaction, but I did not know. Like, I mean, I don't know. That's
years later, you're saying?
No, not years later. I knew like within the next couple days. But somebody in the chat goes, has anyone broke the Kobe Bryant news to Ray yet?
Yeah. Helicopters crash, Ray. I don't know if you're familiar with it. Guru won because a fan was made a mod on this network, a fan who loves Shuli and hates me. There are no fans moderating on this network. And if I don't know. Ray's the only one who went rogue and started blocking people himself, but we have people and they're pretty lenient as long as you don't talk about, you don't drop N-bombs or talk about people's kids and shit, then we don't give a fuck. We can take it. It's all good.
Patrick Michael, in this fall, Man, this is very tough in this fall. I'm going to take my talents to YouTube and broadcast with the Shuli Network. The decision.
Patty C cups. You're welcome, pal. Anytime.
And by the
Love
way,
that guy.
you what do you call it? You know, Brennan's not starting a network. He's just saying that he's not starting a network.
Oh, you mean the guy that never leaves his house is not going to start a net? Well, yeah. Somebody said to me, or Bob was saying that he says he's going to do a show with Stuttering John, which I love that idea. I love that idea. That is, God bless. I hope that it's never going to happen. It's never going to
I
happen.
don't think it's going to happen either. You could put up the super chats, the one that just went through.
You just lobbed the softball at Shuli to beat up on Brennan. What the hell's the matter with you, Ray?
Shuli, have you? I'm reading the super. All right. After this, I'm going back to your opinion of the Stuttering John thing. I don't think it's happening either. He's not doing a network. I see Uno 420. Shuli, have you already gotten rid of Kevin Dabrowski?
No.
That's a great question. Yeah. What's the deal there?
I mean, that's so, Kevin and I have been talking long before this shit started. And, that's between me and Kevin. It has nothing to do with Levy or Gino. Decisions like that are not going to be made here on the net. I'm not going to get rid of somebody because they're friends. Look, I got Kevin shitting on me every day. I work with Bob. He's a part of everything I do here. I'm not going to get rid of Bob because Kevin is a whiny cunt. Like, that's who Kevin is. So, we're working on some things. I like Kevin. I've known Kevin for years.
I think you guys are fine in the long run. It's just a work right now for what's going on. Yeah, that's my opinion.
I'm done with works, brother. I'm done. I'm a shoot kind of guy these days, and people want to do work.
A grandfather in Kansas City, shoot first. I hear you.
Yeah. All right,
but has Kevin, the Reverend insinuated that Kevin Dombrowski was forbidden from doing In Hot Water. Is that something that's in play?
Look, that's not a decision that Bob made for Kevin. If Kevin doesn't want, I think Kevin's getting a little tired of all the drama. I think Kevin just wants to go on a show and be funny, interview, whatever. Like not everybody lives for this kind of shit. So I think him not doing the show the other day has everything to do with him just wanting to fucking unplug from this shit for a little bit. Because at the end of the day, what are you gaining by being involved in that stressful fucking shit talking environment? Right?
Yeah, I don't blame him. Like I wouldn't want to be on In Hot Water. Like Blue Mosaic, $1.99. Is Ray a Chester, Rumpman, PS Ray's an AI robot? I'm a butt guy. But
you know what that means?
What does that mean? Oh,
everybody's got a butt, so you're down.
Right,
whatever, dog. Whatever. My man's got a broken hinge. His door swings both ways.
Oh wow. No, I'm a butt guy, but I do think Kevin Dabrowski can do what he wants, but I do think he should distance himself from In Hot Water. He shouldn't. There's nothing to gain from that. But again, that's his decision. I'm not. Like when Gino told me I wasn't allowed to do In Hot Water when I showed up to be a guest. This is after Berg already left, and I sat there waiting to come on, and he's just had his N-word phone going and all that. And then he's like, you know what? I'm not letting you on the show. And I was like, and I'm kind of glad that happened because I really didn't want to go on the show after everything that I had to sit there and listen to about the inappropriate content he was doing. So in a weird way, I'm glad. It's like, all right, I'd rather just waste a day sitting here than sitting next to a guy unhinged, like saying the most inappropriate stuff. I don't want to be sitting there while that stuff's being clipped up and put on the internet. So
Jules David, $5. Speaking of N-bombs, if you are serious about selling tickets to the live show, put Kumi in the dunk tank and invite the local synagogue. Yeah. Jules,
winning.
I love it. You're not wrong, but let's be honest, Jules. Let's be honest. Your Lord and Savior Kevin Brennan real loose with the Jew word these last few episodes. So all I'm saying is, if you're gonna accuse somebody of being anti-Semitic or racist, make sure there isn't audio of you talking about I'm a Jew this, I'm a Jew that. There isn't a compilation of you on Compound Media dropping N-bombs just like your enemy Gino. That's all I'm saying. So, and listen, I know where Cumia stands. I've known him longer than I know Kevin. And am I happy and agree with everything he says? No.
Yeah, was there any thought to take him off the show based on that video game stream that he did, to take him off the Potsdam show?
No, we're not cancel culture. We're not going to fucking sit here and if this thing blew up and people were protesting and okay, then we got to do what we got to do for the sake of business. But to just sit there and be like, oh my God, have you ever played Call of Duty? Do you think that guy's the only fucking guy dropping N-bombs in Call of Duty? It's people's screen names on the fucking game is the N-bomb. So give me a fucking break. I don't agree with it.
I'm not 15. I don't play video games anymore.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't hear you over your fucking action figures behind your head. So,
boys, I don't mean to be rude. I gotta jump off. I got a family commitment that's gotta be taken care of in 8 minutes.
By the way, Carlos, you do a great job, and I love you on here with Ray. We need some sort of direction from you. You're good. Keep it up. Shuli should hear the things 90% of his viewers say about you. What do you think? You think the fans of the Stern Show were any different? This is the world, dude. It didn't all start from Cumia. People didn't hate Jews because of Compound. People didn't hate blacks because of Compound. It's like, I love that they're like, oh, bye, Carlos.
Peace out, Carlos.
Happy 420, guys.
Happy 420.
Carlos Danger, give him a follow, give him some love. Insufferable.
He's great.
He's a good dude. But yeah,
Insufferable Bastards podcast.
Bastards, yes.
Yeah, I think it's Mark Norman that has a joke, which I think is great. Like, people that hate Jews, you don't even know who's Jewish until I can't tell by looking at someone if they're Jewish or not. Like, you actually do I hate him or not? Like, you don't know. You got to really figure out who they.
I got to be honest. I'm not a huge fan of the Jews. Okay,
I like the movie The Jazz Singer. I don't like that he went in blackface. Neil Diamond did it. That was kind of inappropriate, but it's a great album. That's all I know about. Matt McHale, $5. I agree with Shuli. I don't know why, but listening to Ray's endless hours of useless entertainment.
I agree.
Oh, wow, Matt McHale.
All right. Well, listen, you've said it all, Ray. Are you what's it? Find out from Kevin what he's paying you to not do Potsdam and get back to me.
He's not doing. He's just saying that for a work. He's not. Wouldn't that be hilarious if he did it? If he's not doing that.
I would love it.
I know it would work out for you. You'd be like, great, awesome.
Hey, listen, if you want, I'll tell him I was going to pay you $800. If you want, I'll make you nut for the month, pal.
Yeah. Well, I like it's a win-win situation for me. That whatever I make here, he insists on giving me more money. Then it's like, all right, I got my show here, and then I go on his show, and he's like, I got to pay you more than whatever you made. So it's not a bad position. If you're me, how would you take that? You'd be like, does that bother you or no?
What, that he's willing to pay you to not do the show?
No, that he insists on paying me more money.
No, it doesn't bother me because you take far worse of a beating on his show than you do on our network. Yeah. So I actually think you deserve it. If you're going to be a fucking piñata for somebody for 3 hours, yeah, he should pay you.
I'm going to give him shit next time I do the show. How about that? I'm going to fucking go at him. What do you think about that?
You don't need to. Listen, I'm not fighting with the guy. He can do his own thing. I'm doing my thing. And that's that. So, you can handle it however you want, but something tells me you can handle it the best way possible. It's still going to blow up in your face one day.
I do think this, though. I think this does Kevin actually hate you? I don't think so. I think, though, the tension is good for your shows, and it's also good for his shows because that's what his shows strive on. So everybody wins in the end.
Yes.
So everybody wins. All right, we can wrap up here. You want to talk about more stuff? We'll let you. Anything?
Jew broad. That's what it is. Jew broad. So he's attacking Jews and women. Shame.
Wow.
Shame. Keep it up. Keep it up. You're getting your point across. It's everybody understands who you are when you let that stuff out. It's all good.
I can almost be Jewish. What do you think, man? Every time I go to Old Man Hustle at 39 in Essex, they always it's right by one of those things where they want to pray with you. And I always get old Jewish guys coming up to me asking if they can do their prayer. What's that called?
They ask you if you want to wrap tefillin around you and daven and do the prayers and
yeah, whatever. Like they just want to they ask if I'm Jewish and that if they want to do that prayer thing.
That's because you look Jewish. That's what that is.
That's because I look Jewish.
They don't offer black guys that service. You know what I mean? Like if they're looking at you and they go, well, look at his nose. They go, that's probably one of us. And then they did it to me. I would go to grab lunch and the guy's like, you a Jew? You just yell it like that. And I'd go, yeah. And he goes, can I put tefillin on you? I'm like, no, I'm going to get a Baconator at Wendy's. I'm not.
Oh, they buy you lunch? Or they don't buy. Oh,
no, they don't buy you anything.
They just say, they just say a prayer with you. I'm like, if they're gonna take me out for a meal, I'm like, yeah, let's go pray around the thing.
But you literally would join Scientology for a breakfast burrito. Yeah.
So that guy's a nice dude. He bought me 6 beers. Fucking good guy. Just got to hear him out. You just got to listen to him. We got a couple super chats. I'll read. I think we passed up a couple. Blue Mosaic $1.99. Tell the emergency room visit for the 10th time Tide Pods. I never talked about Tide Pods. Do I look like a guy that would eat a Tide Pod? Probably. You probably.
You ever hear the old stories about Robin Williams? How he would lift so many people's jokes back in the day.
Yeah.
That comics used to come up to him whenever they needed money for something, and they would go, hey, you did my toothbrush bit. And he'd go, oh, he didn't even question it. He just assumed he did it, and he would just give him $50. And so I feel like that's you with your stories. Is you're like, they go, tell the Tide Pod story. You go, I didn't tell a Tide Pod story. And then meanwhile, we go back a couple of weeks, and there's a Tide Pod story. You can't even keep track of all your stories you keep telling.
I do use Tide Pods. They're good. I keep them in my trunk because I'm on the road so much, and this way, if I'm doing laundry, always got a Tide Pod. It's better. I don't know why people don't do Tide Pods. It's better than actually having like the laundry thing, like the liquid.
Yeah.
Tide Pods are the way to go. Don't eat them.
If you're just tuning in, Tide Pod conversation. Buckle up, everybody. Buckle up.
Finkelstein Shit Kid $1.99. Is Kevin's network called the Imelda Marcos channel?
Okay, yo. You know who she was?
No, I have no idea.
God, I want to say Philippines. I think she was the prime minister of the Philippines, or her husband was. But long story short, I think there was a coup of some kind, and when the people like raided their mansion, their palace, she had like 4 rooms dedicated just to shoes that she had.
Wow.
It's insane. And meanwhile, people are starving in the streets. Yeah, Roy, am I right? She likes shoes, right? Or people are 3,000 shoes. Shuli ever suck Robin's tits? Just in a dream, not in real life, though.
Did Florentine really date her?
Yeah. We got into we stopped talking for a little while when he dated her. It was so weird. We've talked about it since, and we laughed about it. But he was dating Robin, and I was on the road that weekend with him, and I brought my wife with me, and we were going back to the hotel after the show, and it's me, Florentine, my wife, and me and my wife. You know, we were pretty buzzed. Florentine was feeling good. Florentine loves farting and trapping people in his farts. That's his thing. If you do road gigs with him, he'll lock the windows and he'll put on the heat and he'll just leave you in that state. Yeah. So we're in this cab going back to the hotel, and Jim rips a fart. And Jim eats healthy, so it smells like death. It's just awful. And when we got to the hotel, as soon as we opened the door to get out, my wife puked on the street. from the smell of his fart. And he laughed, and he was like he was in heaven. He was so happy about it. So Monday morning rolls around, we're on the air, we're doing the Stern Show, and I'm in the back office, and I'm telling, I think Gary or one of the guys there, the story over the weekend. And one was like, you got to go in and tell that story. Because everybody was like, Robin's dating Jim? Everybody's like, what the hell is that about? So everybody's like, hey, go in there and tell this Jim story so Robin knows what he's like. And it's like, Jim was a guest on the show for years. Robin knew what he was like. Like, this wasn't a blind date type of thing. So, I go on the air and I tell the story. And then I get a text when the show's over, and he's like, I thought we were friends. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, you went and told that story on the air. That's not cool. And I'm like, buddy, you film yourself taking a shit in the toilets. I'm like,
that's his move, his finishing move. He's world famous for that, the upper decker.
The upper decker. So I think at the time he was just, I don't know. He was in something with her, and it ended up not working out. But it was weird that I was like, why is Jim embarrassed all of a sudden? So
yeah, I've never seen Jim upset. He's always
he wasn't upset. He was just like, Robin was hot back then too. Oh my God.
Was she really? I never looked at her as hot. I always
well, it's because you're racist, but I mean, people who don't see color actually see beauty.
I never thought she was hot. Yeah, you did do a nice Florentine impression.
One of my favorite terrorizing telemarketer calls is, and every time we talk, it's how I say hello every time, is this guy calls Jim to sell him some toilet cleaner, like a drain cleaner for your toilet. And Jim proceeds to tell him that he can't even pour it into the toilet because him and his roommates keep shitting on each other's shit. And so to get it in the toilet, he would have to get the shit out. And he's like, I don't know how you want me to do it. And the guy at one point, he goes, just grab it with your little hand. And Jim goes, what do you mean, my little hand? They're both the same size. And that was such a fucking funny answer. So that's how I greet him every time I see him. Racist. I love it.
Blue Mosaic.
I love it.
I love Florentine. All right, I'm gonna get ready to wrap up here, man. We had this was fun, man. Thanks for jumping on, man.
My pleasure. Ray, just so you know, I bust your balls, man, but I dig you. I think you're a talented dude. I like you here. I like the drama. I like the fucking back and forth. It's fun. It reminds me of old school radio. And, if you want to continue doing stuff here, you're more than well. If you want to get the big money offer and go to the Brennan Network,
he's not having a network style. He's just saying that to get a rise out of you. He's not doing a network.
Listen, I'm not going to say that. He's not going to be happy hearing you say that. I believe Kevin can accomplish anything, and I think he will have a network, and I think you've just talked yourself out of a job.
What if I did? I do my show here, and then I do a show over there too. Why not? All right. Or not. I don't think he's. Yeah.
I'm kidding, Ray. Okay, you do whatever you want, man. Eat. You want to eat? I ain't gonna ever tell anybody to choose sides. That ain't happening here.
You guys are gonna be fine in the long run. Everything's gonna be fine.
You work where you want to work, and you get what you're worth, pal. All right, and that's $300 and no hotel. I love you.
I love you too. All right, thanks, buddy. Thank you, guys. Follow Shuli, Salome Shuli on everything and Twitter. Hit like on this. Subscribe to the YouTube channel here. And these are on my social medias, Ray.DeVito on Instagram, Rock Bottom Pod on YouTube, Ray DeVito on TikTok, Ray DeVito on Twitter. Also on my stand-up YouTube, youtube.com/Ray DEVI, and then also Patreon, patreon.com/Ray DeVito. All right, happy 420, everybody. You guys are awesome. All right.